Hey everybody, Andrew the Realtor here. Welcome to the monthly market update. It's the month of August. We're discussing numbers in July and what's going into August and how are things going to be shaping up for the rest of this year. This was an important one because I'm getting a lot of kind of mixed information from some of the folks that I'm speaking to. I want to clarify some things, and I think the numbers that I'll show will do just that. So let's do this as fast as I can. Not so fast, but so I don't take up too much of your time. As always, thank you guys for checking out the newsletter. I do try to put in some very interesting articles that are real estate specific. Obviously, not everyone's interested in real estate every day like I am. And if that's the case, like I was always mentioned, archive it, don't delete it, because later on you might actually want to take a look at it. If nothing else, if you need to buy or sell, maybe you'll go, wow, you know what? Andrew's been right for quite a while. Maybe I should give him a ring. Okay, so let's check this out. Let me minimize myself here. And we're going to go right into this. So, as I usually like to do, start out with the actual market stats for the month of July. So last year, July, you might recall, and you can see the newsletter if you've archived it, that it was a record month. It was a crazy year. Starting June, really the kind of May-ish and June, things started to pick up again as we began to kind of understand a little bit about this COVID situation. And by July, record sales, record sales, record sales. Had a very busy year. This year, the first half of the year has been also a record. We sold 70,000 properties in the first half of the year. The second half, my prediction is going to be 50. And the reason I mentioned that is it's not going to be quite as busy. So let's take a look at July, because as some of you have mentioned to me in person, you have heard or maybe seen an article, the idea of plunging sales and plunging. The word plunging came up a couple of times, and not like the toilet plunging, more like the off the cliff plunging. Well, let's take a look at what people consider plunging. So homes sold in July of 2020, here's the record, 11,000. Homes sold this month over here, 9,400. That's hardly a plunge. What is it, 1,800, give or take? Average price, up 12.6%. And that's on average. As I always mention, guys, take the word average with a grain of salt, because all homes are included in that, multi-million down to the under a million homes. Now, detached are doing particularly well, as is expected. I've mentioned that in the previous updates, over 20%, almost 22% here. Clearly not sustainable. And again, you got to take the average aspect of it into it. However, detached has been very hot because people are moving. Still, the exodus of COVID is still kind of happening. And obviously, detached homes are really, really winning in that one. Condos, you can see 6%, still lagging a little behind. However, 6% is pretty healthy. It's been as high as 8.7, I think, almost 9. A few of the months, again, it depends on the month and those kinds of things. A lot of different variables. Overall, condos are starting to pick back up, which is a good thing. And once we see a lot more condos on the market, we see the immigration start coming up. Condos are going to be a beneficiary of that sometime in the near future, maybe towards the beginning of next year. Now, in terms of what has happened, how does this month compare, with the plunging, let's take a look at historical July. Now, this is the same numbers you just looked at. I'm going to minimize myself here. So again, home sold, record last month. Now look at 2019 and 2018, because let's compare it not to the crazy year, let's compare it to busy years. 2019, busy year, and 2018, moderately busy, with not as many sales. But look at the number of sales in July of 2019. You have over here this sloppy looking circle, 8,600 versus 9,400. So 9,400 versus 8,600, and 8,600 was a fairly normal July. Really plunging? We're plunging compared to crazy, but even then, the numbers are still very good. Look at July 2018. It's just almost 7,000 here. Again, even around up to 7, even rounding up, where I should be rounding down to 7, this is 9,400, 2,400 more homes, actually more, almost 2,500 actually. Was it really a slow month, honestly? See, the only thing that has really happened is that because we sold around 70,000 properties the first half, we ate up so much of the inventory that the active listings, here's where it's at. Active listings last month, 9,700. You might recall a balanced market is 20,000 active listings. I mentioned every month. You're looking at 15,000 in July of 2020. So last year, crazy month in terms of sales, still had tons of inventory, 15,000. Should be a little bit higher than that, but it's almost there, almost at normal for a July. This July of 2021, we have 9,700 active listings. The truth is, and it's hard to see it unless you've seen the numbers and what's been happening, on the buy side, things have normalized to a degree for the past 2 or 3 months. But inventory has been eaten up so much that even if you have normal demand, but less than half of a balanced inventory, of course, you have multiple offers, and of course, the price is going to keep rising. So, what is actually going to happen? And by the way, in terms of prices rising, average 1,062,000, average 2019, just over 800, 781. I know it's an average, but heavens, that's a big difference. Where's the market targeting? Where's the market going? Is it going up or is it going down? What do you think? Look at the stuff that's been happening. For the market to actually go down in terms of price on average, down significantly, not 1 or 2%, whatever, actually go down, you would need to increase inventory at least double. You need to double this inventory or more. Now, how do you double inventory? Is it even possible? In the fall, we'll probably get to maybe 13 or 14,000 active listings, maybe to 15, not double. And also, on top of doubling inventory, you'd have to probably almost double the interest rates. We certainly have to go up to 3 or 4 at least. That would actually slow down the market significantly, if even thinking of anything negative in terms of the average price. Is that going to happen? What do you think? You think the government's going to let that happen? You think the banks are going to let that happen with the economy the way it is now coming out of COVID? Of course not. So my idea, and again, showing these numbers, prices are going to continue to rise up. Not as fast as they were. I'm hoping, because this is not sustainable, not 20+% annually. However, prices are going to keep going up. If you're the type, chances are it's not you guys, maybe it's some people that you know that are thinking the market's going to come down, certainly not anytime soon. And again, the supply and demand has to be there. You have to increase the inventory tremendously, and you have to increase the interest rates for that to actually happen. So if that's what you want, maybe you're thinking that way to balance the market, that's what's going to have to happen. And what are the chances of that happening now or anytime soon? They're not very high. This is an article I just saw. I sent it to a prospective client. GTA Homes forecast rise 50,000 between July and October. Yes, that's by a brokerage, Zoocasa. They do a lot of more numerical things, try to stay relevant because they're not as relevant as they used to be. Brokerage kind of shrunk down for lots of other reasons. That's beside the point. But the idea is, and I agree, when you look at the numbers, I'll include this article in the newsletter. Have a look at the numbers. This is accurate in the next few months. This is on average 50,000. So your home might not be 50,000 specifically, but it's certainly going up. It's going up. It's not going down, and for any long period of time or any significant amount for sure. So that's kind of where we're at. If you're hearing otherwise, again, I respect other people's opinions. I actually look forward to have a few folks that send me information that is different from what I'm saying. Absolutely. I take in all the information. I'm always happy to receive input. If nothing else, I know you guys are obviously checking out the newsletter. But that said, forecast, Andrew speaking, I'm thinking it's probably going to be continuing to go upward well into the beginning of next year. Maybe things will start to normalize next year. Again, you have to increase the inventory. The rates are probably going to stay down for a while. Maybe they're going to increase a little bit, but as long as they're still under 2, 2.5, even under 3, people are going to still buy. Hopefully, just the home prices will slow down a little bit. Going down, guys, I don't know. There's a lot of upside yet. If you've seen other cities, Vancouver, Tokyo, Moscow, parts of California, New York, world-class city. Now, guys, a quick Q&A, because I did this one last month. I had one particular question come up several times. So hope I'm not making this too long. If this doesn't apply to you, obviously you can just skip forward. And I appreciate your time. So the question that comes up, should I buy first or sell first? So real quick, this is a chat. This is definitely a chat worth having. So do give me a call if you have this question. But I'll give you a couple of quick ones. So know the close approximate value of your home. So you have to know how much your home is. That's where I come in. I can help you with that, find what that is, so you know how much money you're getting in when you sell your house. You'll know how much mortgage you have. You have that information. The next thing, number 2, know the costs of moving. So you've got the value of your home, what your mortgage is, if any left, and all the closing costs on both ends. So you have lawyer costs, realtor costs. You have whatever moving situation costs you might have that should be maybe included in this. You have land transfer tax on the home you're going to be buying. So that's included there as well. So once you know all that, you know exactly if I'm selling and if I'm buying, because I know my pre-approval, which is a part of the process, finding out your financing. So I know how much I can afford. I know how much my house is going to be sold for, very close to, approximately, but pretty close to where it's supposed to be, at least. And I know what the costs are. So I know what I can afford. I know what the house is. Next, number 3, no days on market. If your area, let's go with your buying first. If the place you're buying is homes are selling very quickly, and there's not much inventory out there, you know it's going to be hard to find a house. Therefore, The next step, you find out what the days on market, how many days does a typical home like yours sit on the market in your specific area. If the buying and selling is very close, then you can be very comfortable buying and then selling afterwards. Not a problem. However, if on that end, the place where you're buying, things are selling very quickly. Your house, however, your area, things are selling slowly. So there it's less than a week on the market. In your area, sometimes it's a month on the market or more. There are occasionally areas like that. In that example, it might be more prudent, certainly makes sense, to sell first, or at least have your house on the market because it'll take longer to sell, and then you go looking. If, for example, both are the same, meaning that it takes a while to find a house there, they sit on the market for a while, and on this end as well, your area homes still stay on the market as well, then it depends. Then you really work out the last part where it says number 4, know yourself. What is your psychology like? And this is actually very important, regardless of numbers, which we can discuss. If you're the type if you don't know exactly to the cent how much you get for your house, and you go looking for something, and maybe you find something and you buy it, even though that's prudent in terms of the numbers, maybe you don't sleep for the next 2 or 3 months. Maybe you're so nervous because your house hasn't sold yet. That's very important, because quite frankly, the process is not supposed to be that anxiety causing or that stressful. So with that in mind, this is the stuff you want to know. Value your house, how much you can afford, find out the whole financial situation with the cost of moving, find out what the market is like, where you're buying and where you're at right now. And then knowing those numbers, you make a prudent decision with the whole family, or if it's just by yourself, going with, well, okay, if the numbers are such, I can buy first. If the numbers are such, I sell first, and then I go looking after the house is sold. So that's the kind of stuff that's very important. I keep getting that question. You guys let me know if there are any other questions you want me to address, maybe the next newsletter. Your time is always appreciated. Thank you so much. See you guys next month.